The HP Victus 15 might be one of the most popular budget gaming laptops of 2026, but HP made one decision that limits its gaming performance. So is it still worth buying, or should you spend your money elsewhere? Let's find out. And that GPU isn't the only thing you need to know. There are a few things about the Victus that look great on paper, but once you actually use it, the story gets a little more complicated. So before we get to the gaming performance, let's see what it's actually like to live with. Design and build. Let's start with the design. The Victus has a clean gaming look without covering the entire laptop in RGB, and honestly, I like that. But the chassis is mostly plastic. If you're a heavy typer, you'll definitely see the keyboard deck give a little, and there's some flex in the display too. It's not a tank, so don't go tossing it across the room. The upside is that it's relatively easy to carry, making it a practical choice for students. Keyboard and ports. Port selection is solid. You get USB-C, USB-A, HDMI, Ethernet, and a headphone jack, so most gamers won't need a dongle. The full-size keyboard is comfortable for typing, and the number pad is a nice bonus for school or work. The trackpad is responsive, but because it sits slightly off-center, your palm can occasionally brush it while gaming. Not a deal-breaker, but definitely something to know. Display. The 15.6-inch 1080p display with a 144Hz refresh rate is where the Victus makes sense for gaming. Games feel smooth, and 1080p is a good match for this hardware. The problem is brightness. At around 300 nits, it's fine indoors, but don't expect a great experience outside or next to a bright window. So, for gaming? Good. For color-critical work? Look elsewhere. The configurations. Now here's the part you really need to pay attention to. The Victus 15 isn't sold with just one processor. On the AMD side, you can find configurations ranging from Ryzen 5 models to newer Ryzen AI 5 and Ryzen AI 7 chips. There are also Intel versions, including Core 7 configurations. And the GPU options vary just as much. Depending on the model, you can find GPUs like the RTX 4050, RTX 4060, RTX 5050, and even the RTX 5060. So when someone says, "I have an HP Victus 15, that doesn't tell you enough. A Victus with a Ryzen 5 and RTX 4050 is a completely different gaming machine from one with a Ryzen AI 7 and RTX 5060. HP's own specifications confirm that processor and discrete GPU options vary by configuration and region. Gaming performance. For gaming, I'd focus on the GPU first. If you're mainly playing esports games like Valorant, CS2, or Fortnite, the RTX 4050 configuration can already deliver strong 1080p performance. But if you want to play heavier games at higher settings, I'd move up to an RTX 4060 or RTX 5060 model. And there's another important detail. Don't compare laptops using the GPU name alone. Laptop GPUs can run at different power levels depending on the laptop. So two Victus models, or a Victus and another brand, with the same RTX 5060 can still perform differently. That's why checking the exact configuration and GPU power limit matters. Thermals and noise. The good news is that the Victus generally focuses on keeping temperatures under control. And for students, this matters. You're not always gaming at home. You might be using this in a dorm, classroom, or library. I'd rather have a laptop that's slightly slower but doesn't sound like a jet engine every time you open a game. Battery and upgrades. For everyday tasks like browsing, studying, and watching videos, the Victus makes much more sense than a desktop replacement. And upgradability is another reason to consider it. Depending on the exact model, you can upgrade memory and storage, giving you room to keep the laptop useful for longer. If you want to check the current Victus 15 configurations and prices, I've put the buying link in the description below. Just make sure you check the exact CPU, GPU, RAM, storage, and display before you buy. So, is the HP Victus 15 worth buying in 2026? Yes, but the configuration matters more than the name. For budget gaming, look for an RTX 4050 or better. If your budget allows it, an RTX 5060 configuration gives you much more headroom. Just don't buy the cheapest Victus blindly. Compare the exact specs and price against laptops like the Lenovo LOQ and Asus TUF. Which Victus configuration would you buy? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe to Gearzenix for more gaming laptop reviews.